Hey guys! Today I'm going to share one of my favorite recipes with you, which is for these super tasty pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. They also happen to be accidentally vegan, so they're perfect if you follow a plant-based diet or are allergic to dairy. So let's get started! These muffins consist of 3 main ingredients. Now when we say 3 ingredient, it's technically a whole lot more than that because of the cake mix, but you will only need to purchase 3 items at the store. So of course, the first thing that you'll need is a cake mix. I'm using Betty Crocker's Super Moist Butter Pecan Cake Mix, which is easy to find if you're located in the United States, but otherwise you can try ordering it online. I get mine from usafoods.com.au. Next you will need some canned pumpkin. I use Libby's, which is an American brand, but any canned 100% pumpkin will do the trick. For the chocolate chips, my favourite are the Guittard Extra Dark Chocolate Chips. You can use any brand of chocolate chips of course, but if you want the muffins to be vegan, make sure they are dairy-free chocolate chips. Most very dark chocolate is vegan anyway, as it doesn't have any milk content. This next ingredient is not essential, so I don't count it as part of the 3 ingredients, but I personally like to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon to the cake mix, just to give it that extra spice. You'll also need to prepare a muffin tray with patty pans. The one I'm using has 12 spaces, but even after filling these, I always have some batter left over to make another 3 to 4 muffins. Now be sure to preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And we will begin measuring out our ingredients. We'll start with 1 cup of dark chocolate chips. You can then take out your cake mix. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm using this butter pecan mix, which happens to be free of any animal products, and it ends up making the perfect batter consistency with the pumpkin. For the cinnamon, go ahead and measure out your 1 teaspoon so it's ready to go. And lastly, you can open your can of pumpkin. Look at all that orange pumpkin-y goodness. Now you should have all your ingredients prepped and ready to combine. Taking a large mixing bowl, I start by tipping out all of my cake mix. Then I begin to gradually add large tablespoons of canned pumpkin to the cake mix, stirring well after I add each scoop. If you add all the pumpkin at once, it will be very difficult and messy to mix up, unless you're using an electric mixer of course. You could even do this in reverse if you wanted to. You could start with the pumpkin and gradually add the dry cake mix. Also, you can toss in your cinnamon at pretty much any point, just be sure to mix it up well. Continue to add more pumpkin while stirring it thoroughly. Once all your pumpkin is in the mix and well combined, it's time for the chocolate chips. Same deal as with the pumpkin, add it slowly while mixing well, making sure you get an even distribution of chocolate chips throughout the mixture. Also, be sure to snack on a couple of the chocolate chips. This is a very important step and I highly recommend it for the best result. That muffin mix is looking real good, so it's time to spoon it into the muffin tray. I like to use the classic double spoonie method. Fill them up about 3/4 full, if not a little more. You could even go right to the edge of the patty pan as they don't rise as much as regular muffins. As the batter is so thick, it tends to hold its messy shape in the pan even after baking. So if you want them to look neater, you can gently smooth them over a little, or leave them super messy to keep their character. I also added extra chocolate chips on top to make a few of them more picturesque. Now the muffins are ready for baking, you can go ahead and put them into your hot oven and set your timer for 18 minutes. Cooking time varies depending on the size of your muffin tray and your type of oven, but this is a good starting point. At 18 minutes, check on them by inserting a skewer, and if it comes out clean, they are ready to be removed and don't need a moment longer. If not, leave them in for another 3 minutes or so, then check on them again. The goal is to keep them in for the minimum time while still being fully baked through, as we want them to stay as moist as possible. And I know some people have a phobia of that word, but it's just so necessary for describing delicious baked goods.
You want a cookie? So moist. No.
After the muffins have had a few minutes out of the oven, you can start transferring them to a cooling rack. Personally, I like to let mine fully cool off before eating them. However, they're also really good warm and fresh because the chocolate is a little melty on the inside. And that is how you make these delicious pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to try these treats, or if you'd like me to post more food related videos. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!